and Canada's top political leaders acknowledged today that a solution to our nation's housing crisis is a long way off. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and opposition leader Pierre Poilievre were both in town to talk about their solutions to the housing crisis. It followed their confrontation in Parliament earlier in the week over the use of the word wacko. Al Sweeney reports.
On Tuesday in the House of Commons, the Speaker ruled that this was a little too much.
When will we put an end to this wacko policy by this wacko Prime Minister?
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre got the boot when he used the word wacko. Today in Hamilton,
doubling housing costs in 9 years? Wacko.
He wasn't backing down.
You know, people have told me they find it refreshing to have someone who calls it like it is. Because Justin Trudeau's plan to hike the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre? Wacko.
For his part, the Prime Minister was also in Hamilton meeting with students at Mohawk College to talk about concerns that they may never be able to afford a house in Canada.
These young people, no matter how much they work, no matter how hard they set aside, it just doesn't seem possible.
He says his government's policies would help fix that eventually. And we asked the Prime Minister about the fact that much of the increase in home prices occurred while he was Prime Minister.
In 2015, when you became Prime Minister, the average house in Hamilton was about $334,000. 2024, it's $850,000, beyond the reach of many people. What happened? How did governments let this happen?
Boy, we could talk about the global economy, the inflation crisis that came from the fact that we had a once-in-a-century pandemic.
He says there are a lot of factors, and his policies are designed to help fix the crisis. But it's not clear when that fix is going to happen.
Over the coming decade or so, over the coming years, less than a decade.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre was talking to workers in Stoney Creek and at the Ontario shipyards in Hamilton, who are also worried about being able to afford a home, and at least some thought wacko was the right word for what's going on. We asked Poilievre the same question. 2015, $334,000 for a home. 2024, $850,000.
2 words. Justin Trudeau happened. Justin Trudeau happened. After 9 years of costly housing promises, Justin Trudeau has more than doubled housing costs.
Poilievre has a detailed housing plan, but how long would that take to get things back to normal? You mentioned in there in your speech, the next generation. Is it going to be another generation before we can reach that level of affordability?
We have to move to build the homes now. We have to reverse the housing inflation that Trudeau caused as soon as possible so that this generation can hope to start families, to raise kids.
And those students the Prime Minister was talking to, they're hopeful.
I don't think it's going to be the easiest task, so I believe, as much as efforts might end up having slow results, I think that would exist for any plan.
I think it'll take a while. What he said sounds promising, but I guess we'll see if it works out, if the houses will actually be built.
Al Sweeney, CHCH News, Hamilton.